is on.
Huh. Alright. Let's see. Public. So what's everybody doing on this fine Saturday? Okay. So it looks like this is going up, and I will change the name of it, but I've been noticing on YouTube over the last, I want to say probably 2-3 weeks, people have been talking about their 3 hobbies. And let's see. Okay, so basically this is just going to be a live video on what I've kind of been up to at the end. Like I said, I've been watching some of the what people are into else other than the hobby, and it's really cool. Needless to say, I haven't had much time lately because it's been summertime, so I haven't been doing a whole lot of videos. But we're hitting into the cooler weather. It was like 97 outside yesterday, and it's cloudy and 64 today. So I don't know. It's absolutely crazy at the moment. Looks like one person's watching. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just type them in. I'll be looking at the screen as I'm going along here. And there's going to be a video in the middle of this that kind of explains why I came back to the hobby. Anyway, let's see. Let's do this. Yep. So my 3 hobbies, and I'm going to keep it to 3 because I do have a bunch, but we'll go with the top 3. So number 3 is always going to be drawing, art, anything in that realm. Growing up, family time used to be, or if I was out going to an event, I always had an art pad and a pencil. Sometimes a pen, just depends on what I was doing that day. But for the most part, I've always been drawing a lot of stuff. Now, with that being said, I want to start like drawing stuff out and trying to create that. Sometimes it might be a knife. I really kind of want to do a couple knives. Like I want to do a batarang. I'm not sure which movie franchise I'm going to do yet because I don't know if the Michael Keaton symbol would work good as a batarang, but who knows? I could be wrong. And then, so holidays and art. What we used to do as kids is like I would draw a circle, the next family member would do a line of any kind, and then at the end of the picture, we'd just figure out what we were drawing. And sometimes the pictures turned out pretty unusual. I don't know if we have any of that stuff. It's been a long time since we've done all that kind of stuff. My son seems interested in art, but I don't think he's ready for that challenge yet of that everyday task. So yeah, there's yep. Sorry. So I'm on vacation and we're doing back to art. Um, so yeah, I mean that's one of the things I want to do on the channel is I want to start like drawing something out, even if it's for like a Halloween costume or something for the boy, or making a knife. There, I want to make a couple knives that like the handle is exactly my one hand, but I want it to be out here like this. I've got a couple of what I call little swords. They're just short little daggers, but they're just generic is all can be. Maybe one day I'll show my actual knife collection. Between me and my brother, we've got to have well over 80, 90, well each. And I know mine, I haven't been doing much with mine. So, but if I can create a couple, and I work for a steel company, so I might be able to get the steel really, really cheap. So I might be making some knives here pretty soon. So anyway, number 2. Number 2. What do I want to say? Number 2 is I'm going to say right now it's the figure painting. Needless to say, for the longest time, just how do I say this? I was picking up figures to just paint while other stuff was going on or other stuff was drying. And it's kind of like you could switch 1 and 2. It just depends on what I'm working on. Right now, this is kind of what I've been working on. Oh, it picks me up just nicely. Oh, there we go. See? And I'm not sure exactly how much more stuff I'm going to do to these. Me and my son have been trying to play that particular style of gaming. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of Warhammer stuff now and Reaper stuff, and I guess you could put Gundams in there, but they're kind of models too. Yeah, needless to say, I've fallen off the deep end. And then that's number 1, and number 2. Number 1 is probably for me right now modeling. I want to get to where I'm scratch building some stuff. I went and bought a bunch of styrene sheets, and I want to just build like a spaceship or a car. I think a car would be really, really complicated. But maybe I could take like the base of a out of the box model kit, just do like the chassis, engine, and then just scratch build the body. But we'll see how that works. I have not done any vacuum forming or anything. It seems really, really easy. So we'll see. Right now, model-wise, I'm kind of working on a Gundam. I kind of am working. I was working on a Porsche 918 Spider, and I messed up the body. I overpainted some of the inner, like, flow channels, I guess you'd call them, where, you know, it engraves so the wind goes through the body and not slow it down. So yeah, I mean, that's number one. I've got the red Batmobile. I mean, a lot of the stuff you've seen on the channel. And really, I could put figure painting and modeling together and put number two is 3D printing. Like 3D printing, this kind of stuff. I'm still working on the Warlord Titan. The printer's broke. Yeah, the printer, I did something to the nozzle and it's not working right anymore. So yeah, I think I will say number two is 3D printing. I didn't think I would get into that as much as I have. And if there was anything I would change probably what I bought first. I think I should have got a different CR10 or the Ender. The Ender worked really, really good when I had one. I do want to get into some resin stuff. I've liked some of the figures that I've seen. That Predator that I did in PLA looks really good in resin. And I might have to just do that for those prints, but I still have my CR10. I'm gonna have to. I've had it for 2.5 years, and I'm gonna have to start putting some money back into it to make it run normal. I got to get a different nozzle, and that's daycare kind of wipes me out in the summer because it goes from part-time to full-time with the boy being in school and not in school. So, you know, them things called bills. So we've covered all three of these. So let's talk about what brought me back. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a little video. Oh, is this gonna work?
On January 24th, Josh and Christy Bryson arrived at the hospital to welcome their son to the world. But he was 3 months earlier than expected. 5 days after a stroke during pregnancy, a coma-inducing brain surgery, and emergency C-section, Christy held her baby for the first time. On January 24th, Josh and Christy Bryson arrived at the hospital to welcome their son to the world.
The day of his words, I guess. It was smooth sailing. Everything was fine. She was in a good mood. I had no indication that anything was going to be wrong the next day.
When I was 28.
Okay, I don't know what I did, but let's...
5 days after a stroke during pregnancy, a coma-inducing brain surgery, and emergency C-section, Christy held her baby for the first time.
Up to the day of his birth, I guess, it was smooth sailing. Everything was fine. She was in a good mood. I had no indication that anything was going to be wrong the next day.
When I was 28 weeks pregnant, I was having some vision problems, and so I went into the OB just for a checkup. And they had decided at that point that I had preeclampsia and that I needed to be admitted into the hospital.
Preeclampsia increases the chances of having a stroke during pregnancy. More than half of these stroke victims don't survive, with only 10% making a full recovery.
Once I was admitted into the hospital, I had a seizure and a stroke that turned into a brain hemorrhage. And so at that point, I had to have the baby via emergency C-section. And straight from there, I had to have brain surgery because I had a severe hemorrhage.
And I probably had a five-minute conversation with her before they laid her down in bed to check her out. And as soon as she hit the bed, she went downhill from there.
Christy suffered a severe stroke 6 months into her pregnancy and was rushed to the intensive care unit. Meanwhile, one floor above, baby Raylan was admitted into the neonatal intensive care unit.
When we were going to go deliver the baby, I was basically told, you have to go with the baby, and she's going in that direction, and not knowing what the outcome is.
Nothing is more terrifying than sitting in a waiting room, worrying about a loved one. Josh sat in 2 waiting rooms that day, with 2 lives hanging in the balance. His wife and his premature child.
So after Christy's surgery, she was in a coma for 3 days. Not any sign, no nothing. You can't explain that emotion at all. I mean, you're sitting there watching your wife basically fall apart in front of you. Like, I even had to leave the room at some point. And then just all of a sudden, she just starts coming around. We weren't sure if she was going to wake up at all.
Because it wasn't until I was in the rehabilitation center for a while, where one day it's like I just woke up out of a fog. Finally, I started to put the pieces back together. And then at that point, he was like, well, do you want to go see the baby? And to me, it felt like that was the first time that I had seen the baby, even though it wasn't.
Born at just 1 pound, 15 ounces, Raylan would spend 64 days under the watchful eyes of the NICU center.
I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to break down when I saw him. I didn't know if I was going to be super sad that I missed out on everything. But I was just so happy. I was so happy to see him.
Let's see. I mean, within 2 weeks, they were starting to take him off his air. He was doing really, really well. The first month, he was completely breathing on his own.
The staff, they were really great. They were really compassionate. I remember coming in and always seeing somebody cuddling Raylan and holding him. And the nurses always said, oh, darn, your parents are here, Raylan. And so I felt like they loved my baby as much as I did. And that meant a lot to me.
I was expecting pretty much a normal pregnancy. No complications, no. It ended up being kind of scary at times.
I have a lot to be thankful for because when you go through something like this, it feels so horrible. But then you also have to look at, but at least I'm here and at least my baby's healthy and we're a family and we can be together.
If I was going to say anything, I would say thank you to the NICU and the Riverbend hospital staff. Everybody was really, really helpful and kind and supportive. So yeah, that Oh, how do I get this off the screen now? Oh, there we go. So anyway, that's kind of what started this transition of me coming back to a hobby. As you can see, both of them are pretty normal. You've seen Raylan on the channel a couple times. He's got no issues whatsoever. Wife still deals with a lot of loss, but you know she's been through a lot, so we don't judge. Anyway, so with that being said, I was a supervisor at a plywood mill, and basically between work, home, and that's both ends of the candle, and then you basically light the middle of that candle because you're not sleeping. I ended up losing that job because I just did something stupid at work. And it's no one else's fault but my own. It's just, so basically I went from having all this stuff to do to hardly nothing. And I was looking for work, taking care of the family, stressing out, and that's why this hobby, I came back. There's times where I just got to get at the bench and put something together, right? Even if it's 10 minutes or 2 hours, it doesn't really matter. This kind of resets me back to kind of who I am for the most part. And that's what really brought me back, really brought me back to the hobby. I needed something to just kind of let everything else go for, even if it's an hour or 10 minutes, doesn't matter, either or. When I first started, all I had was basically, I just went and got a kit, and I do a lot of like craft paint, and I just painted the car, and that's kind of where it started. Now I basically am doing this, the figures, 3D printing. I want to get drawing back into something. I'm also with a podcast. I do a modeling podcast now, and we've got about 7 episodes, I think, out. We've recorded a bunch, so I'm not sure. We may not even have 7 out, but we've got a couple that we're still testing out and making sure they're coming out good. And that's been a lot of fun. Spruecast is the name of that. If anybody wants to go look it up, it's on Spotify and Castbox. I don't know if we've gotten on YouTube or iTunes yet. And yeah, it's been literally a journey up to this point. Yeah, literally a journey up to this point of getting everything out. Everything seems to be fine, but this hobby keeps me even keel, and that's why I'm back into it. Like I said, this summer I haven't had a whole lot of time. I do a little bit here and there. Figures seem to be easier for me to do lately because I can spend 5 minutes out here or an hour. If I've got an hour, I try to work on a model kit. But I think Halloween, I'm gonna try to build my Halloween costume this year. I don't know what I'm gonna do or anything, but yeah. So if any of you have any questions or comments or anything really, I'm going to, I guess I could show some of the new tools I got. So I was at a garage sale, and I've been using garage sailing lately as to like get the boys small little toys and spend $1 and you get 4 things, right? But at an estate sale, they had all these tweezers and stuff, and they're professional tweezers, but they're surgical quality stainless steel. And I mean, they've got some points on these. There's one of them. This one I'm not going to get out, but it's, if I had a sliver, that would definitely take it out. So I may not use that one in the hobby. But out of that Father's Day box that I got for, I want to say May or June, I think June, I got a bunch of the bigger ones of these, so that'll be cool. But anyway, this is just kind of what I'm at, where I'm at. But that's my 3 hobbies and what brought me back to the hobby. Hopefully, if any of you have any questions, just hit me up. I'm actually going to be using some of the new Badger airbrushes today, so hopefully in a week or so I'll have something painted. I'm on vacation, so yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of work done. But I will check you all later. Hope everybody has a good holiday. Oh, what did I do? Wait. Oh, stop live stream. Okay.